the phenomena to determine if these apparitions are authentic. But in the meantime, the messages of peace, prayer, and fasting have helped thousands of people grow closer to God. We'd like to share with you in this next half hour some experiences that our Heart of the Nation crew and I witnessed in the small farm village of Medjugorje. It's often asked, could the Mother of God truly be appearing to 6 Yugoslavian teenagers? And if so, why here and why to young people? The local Franciscan priests here in Medjugorje believe that the apparitions are authentic. They explain that the reason for the apparitions has to do with the name, location, and political system in Medjugorje. The name Medjugorje means between the hills, and Yugoslavia is between 2 political systems, that of the East and West. The Franciscans say that this Soviet bloc country was appropriate for the Madonna to appear because of its natural location where East meets West. But then people ask, why does she appear to young people? It was also to young children that the Virgin Mary appeared in Lourdes and Fatima. It's been explained that a mother is naturally drawn to children. They are less sophisticated and more open and honest apparitions. The children, or visionaries as they are now called, are reported to have first encountered the Blessed Mother in June 1981 on this hill outside of Medjugorje. This simple cross marks the exact spot. The place is now called the Hill of Apparitions, and it's generally the first stop for many pilgrims arriving here. The Virgin Mary is said to have first appeared on this spot to Ivanka Ivankovic. Ivanka was walking up the hill with her friend Mariana Dragitovic. According to Ivanka, she suddenly saw a bright shimmering form hovering over the ground, and she shouted to her friend, "Mariana, look, it's the Madonna." Mariana, who was too afraid to look, shielded her eyes from the spot and then ran back down the hill with Ivanka. The next day, with Ivanka still in an overwhelming state of excitement, the 2 girls returned to the hill with 4 friends. They were Vitska Ivankovic, Ivan Dragitovic, Mariana Pavlovic, and Yakov Gorlo. Shortly after the 6 youngsters arrived, the Blessed Mother again reportedly appeared. She was visible to all 6 youngsters, but not to the other 15 villagers, who also came along to investigate. Suddenly, the 6 youngsters are said to have been propelled up the hill faster than humanly possible. According to the villagers, they were unable to keep up with the youngsters, who moved up the hill so fast, it was as if their legs were made of wings. The youngsters report that the same mysterious force that swept them up the hill then gently threw them down to their knees at the foot of a beautiful lady made of light, standing on a cloud. The lady is said to have told them that she came to them with a message of peace that can be achieved through conversion and prayer, and she introduced herself as the Queen of Peace. These 6 children, ranging in age from 10 to 17, became known as the 6 seers or visionaries. This picture was taken on the 2nd day of their meeting with the Blessed Mother. Vitska is often described as the most outgoing of the visionaries, quite willing to spend time with the many pilgrims who come to visit. Her love of the Blessed Mother quickly becomes evident when you watch her face and hear her talk, especially when talking of her special friend, the Blessed Mother. Vitka, what does our Holy Lady look like?
A lady's wearing a gray dress, a long one, and she's having a white veil. She's got black hair, blue eyes, nice red teeth, and she's got a crown made of stars. And she's not standing on the ground, but she's standing on the cloud. On some very special days like Easter and Christmas, she comes in a golden dress, and on a Christmas day she's having a baby Christ in her arms.
Does the Blessed Mother ever laugh?
smil.
Yes, I can see her laughing. She's just like we are, human beings. Look at us at a moment. We are smiling and not smiling. And so Our Lady is. She comes sometimes with more joy, sometimes with less joy, but you can read it from her face.
The initial apparitions are said to have lasted for 45 minutes or longer and continued to occur on Podbrodo Hill, known as the Hill of Apparitions. News traveled quickly of the unusual phenomena in Medjugorje. Within a couple of weeks, the daily crowd numbered up to 15,000 people. They came to observe the visionaries, to pray with them, and to look for miraculous signs. The Yugoslavian government became alarmed at these large gatherings, and fearing a possible uprising, banned the young visionaries from the hill. The seers then met on a daily basis in the chapel of St. James, the parish church in Medjugorje. But once again, the visionaries were presented with a new obstacle. The local bishop, who had a long-standing rivalry with the Franciscan priests of Medjugorje, banned the visionaries from meeting in a public church space. The visionaries were then forced to meet with the Blessed Mother in a small rectory bedroom in St. James, where the visions continued to occur on a daily basis. Parapsychologists and scientists examined the seers during these sessions and concluded that the visionaries are sincere in what they are saying. For others, these scenes of ecstasy speak for themselves as to the sincerity of these young people. The scientists report that when the seers go into a vision, they all turn and focus their eyes within 1/5 of a second of each other, and they all appear to have their eyes focused on the same spot. Doctors and friends of the visionary report that the youngsters are normal with average IQs and normal interests. Medjugorjeans report that if anything, these youngsters are more humble than most people and have little interest for increased prestige or wealth. We're told that the visionaries give any gifts of money that they receive to the church. The visionaries report that they not only see and talk with the Madonna, but they also pray with her, sing with her, and from time to time touch her. They also say that they have asked the Blessed Mother why she has not revealed herself to others, and she has replied, "Blessed are they who believe but do not see." The visions now take place in the church choir loft, which is inaccessible to the public. The visionaries tell us that the Blessed Mother talks about 10 secrets regarding chastisements that the world will suffer if there is not true conversion. 2 of the 6 seers have already been told the 10 secrets, and they no longer have visions. The Blessed Mother says that when she stops appearing to the other visionaries, the chastisement could begin. We're told that the nature of the chastisements will be announced 3 days before they commence. But if people wait until then to convert, it could be too late. Vitska now has visions about once a month. I asked her what the Blessed Mother wants from us.
What Our Lady wants us is to follow her messages, and this is love and peace, conversion, prayer, and fasting. She wants us to pray every day with an open heart and with a big love.
When you pray, dear children, you become more beautiful. You become like flowers which after the snow show forth their beauty. And so you, dear children, after prayer before God, display everything that is beautiful, so that He may make of you a harmonious and beautiful flower for heaven.
During the month of June, we see the hope of spring blossom into the fullness of summer. In the same way, the spark enkindled by our Savior's death and resurrection now burns brightly in our hearts with the love of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Heart of the Nation wants to share this love with each of you during the month of June by offering you the Sacred Heart of Jesus.
For a lot of different reasons, and I think the reason I'm here is different than a lot of people. Is I came out of a tragedy, and I kind of need some inner peace or I need to know that there are reasons that things happen. It's so easy after a tragedy to blame God for it. It's just, it's real easy to go away from your religion, and I think I need something to pull me back in to understand life and the hardships.
Michelle Mattingly and her friend Catherine Phelan recently experienced the horror of having both their younger brothers die together in an automobile accident. As it would be for most families, the Mattingleys and the Phelans found it devastating. Shortly after the tragedy, Michelle's mother and Catherine's parents made a pilgrimage to Medjugorje. I asked Michelle if the trip changed her mother in any way.
My mother, we're Catholic, but she wasn't real religious, and this has changed her so much. It's helped her understand, be able to deal with it. I don't think she could have made it, if she had not come here. And she had so much inner peace, and going over to Medjugorje, she was a wreck, and she's just able to deal with life so well now.
Catherine, I realize this is your first day in Medjugorje, but what are your expectations of this pilgrimage?
My parents came, and before they came, they came because of my brother's death a few months ago, and they were obviously very upset and torn up about it, had a lot of questions about their faith, but they came back from Medjugorje with a really sense of peace that I've heard a lot of people get from here, and that's what I was hoping to get, is just peace with myself and my faith, and with what's happened in our family that has changed things.
There are 3 things that every pilgrim to Medjugorje must do. Visit the Hill of Apparitions, attend Mass in St. James Church, and hike up Mount Krizovec to pray at the cross on the mountaintop. Part of the ritual on the way up is to sing and pray at the 14 stations of the cross, as with this young Yugoslavian. The cross was built in 1933 at a time when there was a terrible drought that caused the crops to die. The villagers believed that if they could erect this cross to God on the 1900th anniversary of the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, they would be helped. As it turned out, from that year on, there has not been another drought. The cross was built by the townswomen who hiked up the rocky mountainside every day, carrying concrete on their backs, 1,700 feet up and 1,700 feet down. Many of the local village women regularly climb the hill barefoot as their penance to the Lord. When pilgrims arrive in this small hamlet of about 400 families, it can be quite a change of pace for those from western cities. Life is slower and more informal, with a pleasant mix of the old and the new. Most pilgrims that come here are part of a tour group. They don't stay in hotels, but rather they stay with the Yugoslavian families. These Medjugorjean families used to put up the pilgrims for free. However, the Yugoslavian government now require that the families charge a fee, with 60% of it going to the government. While I imagined beforehand difficult accommodations, they turned out to be quite lovely. Actually, one of my most pleasant traveling experiences. Many of the locals have rebuilt their homes to accommodate the tremendous influx of pilgrims.
I am a craftsman, and the pilgrimages to Medjugorje have affected my profession and my work. First, I started to rebuild my house when the first pilgrims started coming to Medjugorje, and now we take care of them. We accommodate them into our home, and we welcome them and try to give them enough warmth and a pleasant atmosphere.
The people in this town, they had no chance to talk to the other people all around the world, and now they have a big crowd in the village and a lot of change in their life. But they know that all the people, they come here, they came to pray, to fast, and to be with them, and they're very happy about their coming, because Our Lady said once that with the praying, with the fasting, we could even stop the wars, and that's why we're very happy to have all the people praying and fasting with us.
Medjugorje is predominantly made up of Catholics, and they take the Madonna's messages to heart, fasting on bread and water. Those people who are sick fast by giving up something that is special to them. The townspeople also spend many hours a day in prayer. I asked Jelska Stojic about other ways that the community has changed.
I think that all the people have more time to be together, to pray together, and just to be happy together. But before that, they were running to work to make some more money and everything. But now I think they have more time to be together, to be in church and to pray together.
Find the time to pray as a family. Also, remember the dead. Give them joy by having masses said. And don't demean the poor who ask you for a piece of bread. Help them, and God will help you. Perhaps the blessing that a poor person gives you in gratitude will be realized because God listens to him. Thank you for your response to my call.
Looking for peace and a closer relationship with God? Join Heart of the Nation on a pilgrimage to Medjugorje, the land of mystery and promise, where the Blessed Mother has reportedly been appearing since June 1981. Recently, Heart of the Nation joined millions who visited Medjugorje and reported their experience in a two-part pilgrimage special. Heart of the Nation has scheduled a return pilgrimage to Medjugorje.
While the apparitions are generally only seen by the visionaries, hundreds of people claim seeing unusual phenomena in the area every day. One of the most common phenomena seen by pilgrims and townspeople alike is what's called the dancing sun.
He's jumping now. Oh my gosh. Yes,
Cameras have not been able to truly document what can often be seen by the naked eye. I was privileged to be able to see the phenomenon along with other people on our pilgrimage. We compared notes afterwards and realized that we all saw a similar thing. It begins with the bright sun suddenly turning darker as a bright glowing circle around the sun starts to get brighter, almost like an eclipse. Some people say it looks like the Holy Eucharist has appeared in front of the sun. And then the middle part of the sun starts beating, much like a heartbeat. Some people report that it appears to pulsate out towards them as it beats. Then the inner part starts spinning, somewhat like a revolving firework. And as it spins, it casts off beams of golden hues. Some of the golden hues are in the shape of a cross. The closest thing I've seen to a photographic documentation of the dancing sun is this home movie made by Al Jandra of El Campo, Texas. Father Roberts, the Heart of the Nation spiritual advisor, has made a number of pilgrimages to Medjugorje, including this one with us. I asked him what he thinks of the miraculous signs. Father, do you believe in the apparitions?
Yes, I do believe in the apparitions now, I'm very sure, in my mind, even though I defer to the teaching church. If the church said tomorrow I wasn't supposed to, I'd stop. But, there was a time when I doubted, and in fact I was even prepared not to even talk about it because I wasn't sure. But I'm sure the people in the world who hear about it, who are going to doubt. And this is where I'm at now. I say to myself, I say to them, let's supposing it's a hoax. Let's supposing it isn't true. It's a possibility. The church is holding that possibility until she pronounces on it. If it isn't true, 8.5 million people have been converted by it. 8.5 million people have turned their lives over to God, are reading the Bible, are praying every day, are fasting for peace. That's more than a lot of us clergy have managed to do. But on the other hand, what if it is true, and I believe it is? What about those who haven't converted? What if he really is appearing and saying to the world, this is your last chance? What if he really is appearing and saying, I'm not just here to make the sun dance. I'm not here to do tricks. I'm here to change the world. I'm here to warn the world.
You have some pictures, Father, that you were going to share with me. Some photos that along the way you have collected.
Yeah, people send me photographs. I don't even own a camera. And they send me these photographs that I think are interesting. This one here was given me by a pilgrim. It said a pilgrim heard his name called out 3 times while he was on the mountain with the cross. He turned and there was no one there. He photographed the cross, and when the photo was developed, he found in place of the cross the Mother of God with a child Jesus in his arms. And you can see it's all kind of very beautiful picture, but everything seems to be in light.
What is this picture over here?
This picture was sent to me by someone who said that they were in the room of the apparitions when she used to appear in the little room. It was so crowded that they couldn't really get a good shot. So they just held the camera above their head and aimed it at the blank wall. And when it came out, this picture of the face came out. I think this one here is interesting. You can see here a flowing Virgin Mary above the crowd in the church. It's definitely the Church of Medjugorje.
Father, how authentic do you think these pictures are?
So I don't really think that's an important part, though. I have them from a matter of interest. It's certainly a good, you start a conversation with someone who doesn't believe. They look at that and they go, wow, maybe there's something. It makes them think. It opens them up. See, I find, the biggest people that die today are clergy. People that are into religion, people that are into God. They say, I don't need this. Well, of course they don't need it, but some people do. But what I would say to them is, okay, are you converting people? I go to parish after parish after parish where people are half dead. There's no life. Where have we seen prayer like we've seen in Medjugorje? Where have we seen faith like we've seen in Medjugorje? Where have we seen Catholics singing like they sing in Medjugorje? Where have we seen people lining up for confessions like they do? Nowhere in the world are thousands of people lining up for confession. Nowhere else in the world are people reading the Bible as they're reading it there, and praying and fasting. And so, that's the miracle to me.
The visionaries tell us that the Blessed Mother is calling for worldwide conversion. Many people wonder if this applies to people of other faiths. I asked Fisco whether Our Lady is asking non-Catholics to convert to Catholicism.
Our Lady says that we are all the same before the God, and it is not the God who have separated people through the religions. These are the people that have separated themselves, and everyone is supposed to pray and believe in his own way and in his own religion.
Do you have any suggestions or recommendations for our teenage viewers?
First of all, I would like to greet young people and tell them that the only right way is the Christ way. Today in the world there is so much evil, and young people have given themselves to drugs, alcoholism, and similar things. All I want to tell them is to take the rosary in their hands and to pray and open their hearts to God.
Using the rosary to open our hearts to God has been used throughout the ages to bring us closer to God through His Mother, the Blessed Virgin Mary. The rosary is very much in evidence here in Medjugorje, not only with the old, but also with the young. Father Roberts brought to our attention one American pilgrim who had a marvelous rosary-inspired experience after his mother returned home from Medjugorje, an experience that has now led James Pfeiffer here.
His mother came in November. His mother had a conversion experience. His mother really turned on to the Lord, and she was telling me that she was really feeling bad that she hadn't really raised these kids properly in the church. And so she gave them to the Blessed Mother right here on that mountain, on Apparition Mountain.
When she got back, she came in late, and I was already in bed asleep, and I didn't see her until the next morning. She came in and she handed me these rosary beads. Now, I immediately put them around my neck, and when I did, she had already left the room. I sat up and I looked at them and I thought for a while, and I started crying. I didn't know why I started crying. It was just a warm feeling inside of me. I can't explain it. But for some reason I felt the need to come here. When we finally got here, you could just feel the peace around here. You could feel the Blessed Mother. You could feel the mountains, everything around here. It all relates to why we're here, and that is to praise God and to learn how to pray.
Dear children, today again I am calling you to prayer and to completely surrender to God. You know that I love you, and I am coming here out of love so that I can show you the path to peace and salvation for your soul. Let the rosary always be in your hand as a sign to Satan that you belong to me. Pray, and I will pray with you.
We hope you've
you've enjoyed the first part of our pilgrimage experience, and we'd like to invite you to join us next week as we continue with part 2 of our Heart of the Nation pilgrimage to Medjugorje. To Medjugorje. Medjugorje is a small farming village in Yugoslavia.